Get these on. Come on. There we go. Welcome in, guys. This is Coach Ken. I hope you guys are doing awesome. As you are starting the day, I did want another option. That's all I needed. There we go. We're going to start the poll, and it's going in there. There we go. Yay. We'll make it a little tiny right there. Awesome. Hey, guys, welcome in. I'm also, while we're here, started out, I'm going to see if I can record another video, because I've got to get, it's the day, and got to produce some videos, right? We got to get onto that and take care of some things. I think, I could do a microphone here. I don't know if I have Instagram on this phone. I'm going to check and see. I did at one time. I don't know that I do anymore, which is kind of like, whoa. Nope, I don't. Oh, shoot. Man, I was hoping I did. Dadgum. I took so much off this other phone. I'm going to put it back on there. Trying to use my Instagram. How are you guys doing today? I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Good morning to you. I hope you're having an awesome day today as we get things started. The weekend is here. It is Saturday, and I hope that you're having an awesome one today. It is a busy day for us. We've got a bunch of stuff on our to-do list that we got to take care of. So, not wanting to be rude or anything. As far as that goes, good morning. Good to see you this morning. I'm going to just record this way right over here. So I'm on here and I'm live, and I'm going to do another recording while I'm on. I don't know if I've done this before. So let's see how this goes. And take the poll, because that's kind of what related to. One of the things is learning about metabolic health is, when can you take a walk? And taking a walk is one of the best things that you can do when it comes to your metabolic health. And I'm going to record just a real short video that addresses that, actually. So let's see if I can get this set up right with my notes. How are you guys doing? I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Good to see y'all this morning. Hope you're having an awesome one today. See my bald head for a second. How about that? I need to trim my hair. Those little fuzzies are getting up in there. Where are you guys coming in from? I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. It is 13 degrees this morning. So just an FYI. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get this recording. Oh, did it do it or not? What are we doing? There we go. Walk for 10 minutes after you eat your meals, and you can have an impact on your blood sugar levels. Think about this. What is the meal that's easiest for you to take a walk after today? What'd y'all think? How was that? Right? California, Central California, 42 degrees this morning. How are you? Awesome. Yeah. Ooh, that's cold for you guys. Isn't it? That's a little bit chilly for this time of year. And Shazar, we got Biggie's bike ride. Awesome. Is that a business that you're doing bike riding? That's I love bike riding. I do more stationary bike riding, just right now, for sure. 13 degrees in the snow around Anchorage is not the time that you really want to ride bikes. But doing just that little bit of exercise helps with glucose control. Angelica Garcia, good to see you this morning. How are you? Where are you guys coming in from? I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. And I'm a nutrition coach specializing in areas of metabolic health and nutrition. With my wife, Dr. G, we do Healthy Together and Feeling Great. You are down in the South. Can you be more specific? South can mean a lot of things. I am up in Anchorage, Alaska. Sorry, I don't know why my voice is the way that it is this morning. Oh, you post your bike rides. Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna have to follow you. Angelica, you're living in Texas. All right, all right. Got a lot of friends in Texas. Grew up going to Texas all the time. My family was from there. My favorite barbecue is barbecue and brisket from Texas. Um, well, I wasn't sure, Biggie. So that's cool, man. So you're Central California. It's been a warm winter. I guess hey, it's been a cold one here. Bella Horse Princess, you're also living in Texas. Awesome. We live in Wiley. Where's Wiley at? Um, where is Wiley? I grew up going to El Paso, um, and Kearns, of course, it's north of Dallas. But I also went to Crane. My dad grew up in Crane. My grandparents lived there. So, if y'all are familiar with the TV show Landman, yeah, I know that area pretty well because Odessa was right there. Leon, how are you? Good to see you today. I appreciate the hands. How are you, buddy? Got the three hands up there. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for the likes and for being in here today. I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. I got a buddy of mine that owns 303 Barbecue, and he's a competition barbecue guy. What do you think about one meal a day diet? I love one meal a day diets. You need to watch that, Angelica. This is one of our favorite shows in our house. I love one meal a day diets. I do, and I don't call it a diet. It's just time-based eating. In Rowlett, Texas. Um, just a funny thing. There's so many more people in Texas. Alaska's bigger, but there's so many more people, so many more towns. This is like a small. It's a big state, but it's a small town in Alaska. We all kind of know each other. But no, one meal a day. I do that. Queer so I do that pretty regular actually. I do 2 meals a day and 1 meal a day. I like to do 22 and 2, so I usually will eat over a 2 hour period when I do that. I like to kind of graze during that period. I'm a camp host in the Sequoia. Oh, yeah, that's all, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. That's something my wife and I wanted to do is to be a host in a national forest. And when you do it correctly, those of y'all that are not familiar with one meal a day eating, is one of the best things to do. Well, time-based eating, or at least not eating 3 meals a day and healthy snacks actually helps our metabolism and bring down our insulin much better than anything else. And you don't have to do calorie restriction. It actually naturally puts you in a calorie restrictive state without treating your body like a calculator. So it's really, and how you eat that is also important. We've all learned that too, right? That when you eat in the right order, that is a huge thing. I teach meal order eating. The Ohio State, UCLA, all of them talked about that. That we eat fiber, fats, and proteins. That's the priority, and the only thing we think about is 30, 60, 90. So 30 grams of fiber, 60 grams of fat, and a minimum 90 grams of protein will help you feel full longer during the course of the day. Taking that walk is one of the best ways to handle that blood sugar. And you don't have to do it long. Your muscles handle blood sugar more than anything else, faster, quicker. They love it, and helps it to get under control. So finding that meal that you can do that is a big help, right? Yeah, it was fascinating. I usually eat over 6 hours fast for 18. Great. Thank you so much. So I'll show you guys a picture. I'm 10 and I'm on my mother's phone. I'm about to get a phone also. I play baseball. I have a lot of rings. All right, all right. Well, I will tell you. Somebody asked me once if I had a daughter, would I teach her this way? Well, the fact of the matter is, I do have a daughter. She's grown now, but it is definitely how I would teach because it's a healthy way of eating. I can tell you, I'm gonna see if I can pull up my picture. I'm gonna hit green screen. It's gonna throw that green up there. I hate it when it does that. I wish that they would come up with a better way to do this. But I like being on here more than I like being on TikTok. TikTok has been a pain in my rear. Um, so this was my wife and I before we started on our journey. My wife is Dr. G. You won a lot of tournaments. That's awesome. Congratulations. So my wife is Dr. G. She does the channel with me. She actually starting to do videos. And we have some videos that we've done together, but she's doing them as well, both shorts as well as long form. Um, and here's the thing: I listened to my wife, and it saved my life. So, guys, if you got a spouse to listen to, we're both widows. I lost my first wife to colon cancer. But as I said, I teach anybody this is a healthy way of eating. To do time-based eating or just recognizing how your metabolism works helps to regulate everything about it. One thing I've learned is that the more you eat, the more you age. That's, you know what? You're not wrong in that. You're not wrong in that. And you can look at the difference between me. This was us when we were both diagnosed with diabetes. And then this is us this last summer. So this is 2024. This is the summer of 2025. And you can sit there and everybody says, you guys have aged in reverse. And we really have. We really have. Because when you're not eating all the time, and when you do that 16 and 8 that Biggie was talking about, and you delay when you're having those meals, the great part about that is your human growth hormones and your stem cells are stimulated to increase in your body. So it starts to heal. You give your body's metabolism a break. So that is huge. It's just real simple. And to know what was going on in the background is important. Let me show you something. If you haven't seen this, this is a great image. Let's see if I can pull this one up. So typically when we're talking about how our human diet is, the modern diet that we have looks like this. Right? We've got this, we're eating all day long. We're eating all day long. All these meals, all these snacks. How many meals a day were you guys taught to eat? Just out of curiosity. Was it 3? Was it 6? Was it in healthy snacks? Type in the comments. You were taught three meals, Jonathan, right? And throw in some healthy snacks, right? Here's the crazy part about it, and if you guys aren't familiar with it, the thing is, and I don't know if you can see this, I gotta be, because I've got that in there. This is from Dr. Jason Fung. This is one of the studies done that, if I can get it just right, that it's not letting me do it. Let's see if I can get it right up there. Nope. But that when we are doing intermittent fasting, we lower our insulin levels greater than when we're doing calorie restriction. So when we sit there and we start to eat less often, it's not eating less food, it's just eating less often, it changes what's happening. And the thing is, insulin is in response to primarily carbohydrates, to the things that we have blood sugar, breads, rice, pastas, corn, potatoes. And like with apples, are surrounded in pectin, but we have our kids drink apple juice, or we drink apple juice, which is sugar water. And think about this: when somebody is struggling with low blood sugar, when they go to the hospital, what do they give them? Apple juice. It's all sugar. And when we look at rice, like basmati rice is covered, right, with the bran. But we primarily consume white rice, which doesn't have the bran on it. That bran is the fiber. That fiber right there is what handles that blood glucose. Now, particularly because of our diets in the United States are so full of carbohydrates, our blood sugar spikes, so our insulin in our pancreas increases. So it's like, I describe it as like a boxing mat. It's like blood sugar, insulin, blood sugar, insulin, blood sugar, insulin, blood sugar, insulin. And we're doing that to our bodies all day long. And that is what leads to, I just had another video that we did live with Dr. Natasha Pierre um, about stress, is it's leading to one of the biggest issues that we have, which is something called insulin resistance. And I'm trying to see where that slide got to in my bank of slides. So I can show it. It looks like it is, it disappeared for a second. Let me get this back up here. So, yeah, I want to make sure that we get this up here. So this is what we're dealing with when we're eating, the ways that we're talking about. So all of these things up here have to do with the fact that our body has become insulin resistant. Our body has gotten to be insulin resistant. So, I mean, first and foremost, obesity, right? That's the one that we think about all the time. So Dr. Ben Bickman, who is one of the leading metabolic scientists of the world at Brigham Young University, studies fat cells. He actually grows them in the laboratory. And one of the things, and you see a lot of other doctors, Dr. Lustig, Dr. Berg, so many others out there, when insulin is present, fat cells grow. And when insulin is removed, fat cells go. I don't know if you like my sound effects right there, but that's what we do. They just shrink right up. But part of the problem is there's so much insulin running through our bodies now. It's leading to the inflammation. It's not supposed to be in our bodies. Because of that modern food environment, we're not supposed to be eating 3 to 6 meals a day, right? And the average US American is eating between 6 to 11. And that, when we're talking about every time you consume, you're spiking that insulin level, right? Let me ask y'all this question. After you eat, do you oftentimes find yourself going, I'm hungry and I'm thinking about the next meal? Hey, thank you so much, Biggie's Bike Rides. I've been working on this for a while. uh, I've mostly been over on TikTok, but TikTok has been, I don't know, it's gotten old, and the videos that I post, it's like, it's hard to find them. It's just, I've always loved YouTube. I've always loved YouTube. So, and now that YouTube is doing this, I'm like, this is cool. So I love getting to connect with people. I wish there was a way that I could connect with everybody afterwards. That's the one piece that I hate. So make sure that if you guys are coming in, you're subscribing. So here's the thing. While these are all the big things, like when you look at like neuropathy, we're talking about migraines. And I'm not going to say migraines are a big thing, but when you suffer from them, they're a pain in the ass. And that was me for like 20 years. But like PCOS, cancer, I'm a cancer survivor. I lost my first wife to cancer, and that was colon cancer. So one of the things that I teach a lot about is fiber. The lack of fiber is one of the biggest problems that we have with our metabolic health, right? And it is one of the things that helps with colon cancer. The more fiber that we have, the more effective our bodies are in dealing with the cancer cells, of putting ourselves in a place of metabolic health, right? Even over here, heart disease. So those are like the big ones. But our body is oftentimes whispering before it starts screaming. Because these right here don't typically hurt. Brain fog. Anybody know that? Or somebody you know? How about cysts or skin tags? Right? You're craving carbs. I mean, you want that bag of Doritos. I mean, everybody wants that bag of Doritos. You're craving that package of Skittles. The Reese peanut butter cups. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Think about this one. When you go to the Mexican restaurant, what is it that they give you for free when you go to the Mexican restaurant? Or when you go to a steakhouse, what do they give you for free? All right, what are those free things that they give you? What food? They give you free food. I mean, if you think about that, what are they giving us for free? They give us free food. And when you think about that too, what animal grazes all the time? You get free carbs. Exactly, Biggie's bike rides. They're giving you free carbs. They're giving you bread. They're giving you chips. What animals graze all day? Cows. What do they graze on? They're grazing on wheat. They're grazing on bread, right? Bread, one way, truth, one life. Exactly, bread. They're giving us free food. Where else do we go to get free food? I mean, I don't get free stuff when I go to Walmart, right? Does somebody talk about food? I don't know. I said food. Hazan, I don't know about food, but I talk about food. Um, and if I slur that, that's a little bit of my redneck from down south. I've caught that in some of my videos. So if I said food, I apologize because I did say food. Sometimes I drop some of those consonants get dropped down south. That's what we do as rednecks. So I'm sitting on a beanbag, naked, eating Cheerios. Man, well, thank you. I'm glad I don't have a picture of exactly what that looks like, but I appreciate that. But you're definitely spiking your blood sugar levels, and I would pass on that if that was me. And I am definitely not on a beanbag chair eating Cheerios. What I am doing is I'm on TikTok, or I'm not on TikTok, I'm on YouTube drinking yerba mate tea and currently doing my intermittent fasting because when I do this, my body's stimulating GLP-1. And now, as I shared earlier, I don't look like that guy anymore. Thank goodness, right? My wife is thankful for that too. And she doesn't look like that anymore. She looks like this over here. So by doing that and helping people do that, we have changed our lives. We've changed our health. And so at 54, I feel more, I'm wearing the same size that I did when I was 24. And so we coach on this about how to do that. And the thing is that, if you're dealing with some of these things, or if you know somebody, right, that's dealing with those chronic issues of insulin resistance, there's a solution to that. Actually been talking about it this whole time, right? We've been talking about intermittent fasting. Now, that's one of those things. How many of y'all? I know some of y'all have done intermittent fasting. How many of y'all have tried it before, or how many of y'all have never done it? How many of y'all have tried it? If you've tried it, type yes. If you've never done it before, or you hate it, you've done it before and you hate it, type no. But if you've done it, it's been helpful. Type yes, just to get an idea as people are hanging out in here. Jane Brown, Virginia. I just read Jade Brown, Virginia. I got you. I got you. I don't know if you're still in here. Yep, Biggie's bike. I know you've been doing it. Anybody else in here that's hanging out? I don't ever know. I can't ever tell if these numbers are accurate, and people are still here or what. It's kind of weird, and that kind of thing. But so intermittent fasting, I like to say at least 2 meal a day eating. I do 2 meals. I do 1 meal a day. Sometimes I do a little bit more than that. And for me, I did it before, and it was hard. It didn't work well for me. And when we were diagnosed with diabetes, I knew we had to make changes. My wife was the one, Dr. G, got on the phone, called a friend who was a nurse and a diabetes educator that told her, I say that because I always say, I listened to my wife, it saved my life. She called them and learned that there was a natural protocol that makes sure that we get both the fiber and makes it really easy. I quit smoking cigarettes a few months ago, and I've been wanting to eat like crazy. I never ate much before that. Well, first of all, one way, one truth, one life. Congratulations. I applaud that. That's a big, big step, and that's a hard thing to do. I never ate much before that. And because here's the thing, all that nicotine and stuff does stimulate things in our body. It disrupts our metabolism. All the way that we eat totally disrupts our metabolism. 3-7, say hi. How are you? How are you today? Welcome in. As y'all come in, let me know where you're at. I'm up in Alaska. Coach Ken up in Anchorage, Alaska. 303 is Colorado, buddy of mine. Jim is a barbecue competition barbecue, 303 barbecue, and so he gave it to me. So So yeah, so one of the things, you're near Pittsburgh. Well, welcome in. I got some friends over that way. Have y'all got a new head coach over at the Steelers yet? Have y'all announced somebody? I know that's total tangent, but what can I do to help is the big thing. So that those hunger cravings, here's what we learned is I'm in Brisbane, Australia. Well, wow for that. Oh my gosh. I have a client down in New Zealand. That's awesome. I haven't seen have anybody Brisbane, Australia. That's on my if there's between going to England and going to Australia, those are kind of my two bucket lists that I want to get to one of these days. Um, so awesome. So glad that you're here. So yeah, I have a coaching client down in New Zealand. Um, Hold on a second. My computer's wanting to die on me. So here's the thing. When we eat correctly, all right, our bodies stimulate something called GLP-1. How many of y'all have heard of, if you've heard of GLP-1, type yes. If you've never heard of GLP-1, type no. I've got some great videos with Lindsay Venn. But GLP-1, how many of y'all have heard? If you've heard of GLP-1, type yes. If you've never heard of it, type no. GOP1, no, GL. It's my accent. I apologize. I've got to get better at that. When I'm preaching, I'm probably much better at it than I am when I'm on here. I just let my accent go. I get a little bit lazy. I heard that term, but I don't know what it is. Okay, perfect. So GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide. Now, if you've heard of something like maybe you've heard of Ozempic or Wegovy, Mounjaro, semaglutide, any of those are GLP-1 resistor agonists. And those are medications. They're originally came out for diabetes, but what we found, of course, is what happens is with GLP-1s, our body makes GLP-1. That's what doctors don't explain. Your body makes GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide, in the small intestines when you're eating correctly. Fiber does that, so that's one of the reasons why we supplement with fiber. And when we eat, right, GLP-1, right, glucagon-like peptide, 1. And so y'all can look this up, and I encourage people to. Sometimes people are like, I don't know this guy on TikTok. He said he was a nutrition coach, but people come on here and say they're doctors too, but I can neither verify nor deny that. So, you can always research people, and I tell people exactly who I am. It's easy to find Ken Hagler, and I can go into that. But the fact of the matter is, the GLP-1 is it is a catabolic hormone that helps our bodies. It signals to the brain when you're full. So when you are intermittent fasting, I drink concentrated yerba mate. That's what's in this packet right here. That's what's in my bottle right here. I drink it hot or cold. When I do that, it knocks out those food cravings and the carb cravings that we get. That GLP-1 is chlorogenic acid. It's also in a lot of plants, which is part of what is. Those plant fibers in there stimulate the body to do that. And so when we eat in the right order, fiber, fats, and proteins, what we find is our stomach is not a blender, contrary to what I grew up with. But our grandparents are right. Eat your veggies first, right? Because you're getting that fiber. Does the satchel spike insulin? No, actually, 3311, that's exactly what it doesn't do. It doesn't do that. It does the exact opposite. So if you're familiar with metformin, actually, you're in Brisbane, so you're University of Sydney, right? You're familiar with that, right? University of Sydney controls and is the ones that handle the glycemic index. They studied this. This works like metformin. In fact, it works better than metformin. So when it comes to that, we're looking at something that lowers your blood sugar spikes by 40%. So it does the exact opposite. So it works like metformin. And the Cleveland Clinic, the people that invented the heart stent, did a similar study on this as it related to lipid lowering drugs for triglycerides, LDL, and it works like statin medications. So yeah, it's pretty dang amazing what it did. I had high triglycerides, high LDL. It lowered all of mine and increased my HDL. That's how awesome this is. And so I drink this before every meal. This is all plant fibers. This is medical grade plant fiber, is what's in here. This is concentrated yerba mate tea. It's all food. And it's in the provider's digital reference. So I know some of y'all aren't in the States, and that may not make a lot of difference. I'm going to switch over here to a little bit different slide, see if I can see that. The provider's digital reference right here is where in the States the doctors go to write all their prescriptions. So when my wife talked to the nurse and the diabetes educator, she told her to go here and look it up because my wife prescribes medication. And so she started drinking this while we went on vacation, is when we started, of all things, she started doing it. And I watched what happened in her body and her life. She reversed her prediabetes, started to lose weight, got energy. Neuropathy and fibromyalgia were gone within just a couple of weeks. And so I was watching that, and we started having the conversation a couple months later. I always say a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. I've been blessed. I've been married twice now. My first wife died of colon cancer. Now I'm married to Dr. G. And she saved my life. She said, baby, I want you to start this. I want you to start doing this. I said, okay. So I started drinking the tea and the fiber. Here's what I'm going to tell you though. The fiber, this was key. The very first week for me, I stopped snoring and I stopped having migraines. And what I delved into this and became a nutrition coach because of this. Why is that working? This sounds pretty amazing. And what I learned was that when you increase your soluble fiber intake by 10 grams, you lower your chances of migraines by 11%. If you increase your fiber, you're going to lower your systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Well, guess what? Both happened within the next month. My blood pressure started coming back down. I was medicated in 145/93, took me down to 120/82 the last time that I had my blood pressure checked. So it makes intermittent fasting incredibly easy. You don't have to do this in order to get the benefits of meal sequencing and meal order eating and intermittent fasting. Here we had, I don't know if he's still here, Biggie's bike rides. We've been talking about intermittent fasting. And for a lot of people, it can be easy. For most people, it can be tough to stick with it. And for us, I've been doing this for 18 months. My wife's been doing it for 24. So it's been 2 years for me. It's going on 2 years. And like I said, we've got clients everywhere. But everything about this has been so easy to do. It's in over 60 countries. I've been doing intermittent fasting and keto for 4 months. Awesome, awesome. 3311. Well, I will tell you, we do low carb. I don't do a lot of restricting. In fact, when I do it, that's a great way to be eating. That's a great pattern. What I found is that this supercharges and makes certain that I get all the nutrients that I need. And everything that's in here, both in the tea and the fiber, has been complete game changers for me and my health. So those days that I guess we say we fall off the wagon, I just pick it right back up and I keep going. And I really never do that. And I really eat what I want to eat now. I just eat correctly. What are they called? It's part of what's called the Feel Great system. And one is called Unimate, the other is called Balance. They work together, and that's how that it comes. So we do this. I do one tea and sip on it. I put it in about 28 to 40 ounces. Yeah, you got to show up every single day. And when you eat the right things and you put the right things in your body consistently, that's the key right there. And when, if you're interested, I'm going to bump that up there. So this is my WhatsApp number. This is also my link tree. So if you want to contact me, you want to learn more about this, what this comes to is about, depending on where you are in the world, this is in over 60 countries around the world. So we ship pretty much anywhere. We've got distribution. It's huge, actually, in Australia, in New Zealand, it's big, India, Korea. Yeah, and you can reach out to me. So it's kenhagler.com. That is my WhatsApp. So if you want to message me later and talk to me, that's totally fine. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. But what it comes to is about $5, just over $5 a day. That's with a $70 discount. If you go on Amazon and do it, you're going to pay the full price. And that's actually not what the company wants. They want you actually with a coach, and that's what I want. It's because we want you to be healthy. That's the whole business. Our goal is to make life better. I've been a pastor for 30 years. I've sat in so many hospital rooms with so many people dealing with heart disease, with diabetes, people watching families go through amputation. I've suffered with cancer. My late wife did. My wife, Dr. G, suffered with it. And what we found is we didn't want to go on this. And these are nutraceuticals, so you don't have to guess how much you need to take. You don't have to guess about that. They are come in a measured form, and they've been studied in this form, so they know what works. How it works. The scientists that are behind this, all right, are some of the leading ones. Dr. Ben Bickman actually is one of the leading metabolic scientists in the world. Dr. Mindy Pelz, they actually use this. Not only do they study it, they studied it and use it. And Dr. Mindy Pelz uses this. How many of you, and I've got some, y'all in Australia, y'all know how good South American soccer teams are. Here's the crazy part about it. Over 1,000 pounds of yerba mate was taken by the simpler, better. Exactly. That's the great part about this. This is so simple. It's just, you can drink it hot or cold. You mix the tea in a bottle. All right. When it comes to the fiber, in about 6 to 8 ounces. And for me, on my schedule, I'm driving around. I have them in my truck. I have them in my backpack. All I have to have is water. It's the easiest thing. My wife and I do double date night balances where we'll take balance and we'll mix 2 of them and drink them. So we do it together. And as coaches, you get Dr. G and I as coaches, and all of our science calls. We do webinars regularly to help people on this journey. It is one of the simplest things. Plus, you get a multivitamin that's in here that comes with, and it's all plant fiber. Now, I know that, I almost lost the train of thought. So I was mentioning about the Brazil soccer team, Messi and them. They took 1,000 pounds of yerba mate to the World Cup. You get why, right? Because of the energy and the health benefits. Because they could drink that and get these incredible health benefits. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Brazil's soccer team, exactly. And yerba mate is only grown in so many places in the world. And so right here we have our own hand-picked farms. So this is processed directly. It goes into a purification process to be sure that it gets everything. Now, if you're concerned too, there's actually a caffeine-free version. You're still getting the theobromine, which is in dark chocolate, and that helps with inflammation and helps with that brain fog. So it's kind of a cheat code, if you will. And if you know Zach Bitters, who has broken a number of long distance running, drinks yerba mate tea. Vladimir Guerrero for the Toronto Blue Jays drinks this. Shaquille O'Neal. These are not spokespeople. We don't pay for spokespeople. That's not how the company operates. It's simply people every day that teach this, that we do this. It changed our lives. We want to change other people's lives. And behind that is a distributorship. I mean, we are, that's part of what we do. And we commit to saying, hey, we're coaches. We're going to educate. We're going to help the people that do this because people helped us do this. And it's a complete game changer in terms of not only health, but helping to support our dreams, which for me is I want to go down to Australia, right? That's one on my list. If there's two places, I want to go to England and I want to go to Australia. So those are two things that are there for me. Um, so what questions do you guys have? And like I said, do y'all have more questions about the product or about intermittent fasting or about meal sequencing? We talked a little bit, keto's a great thing. I do talk about great options about foods to eat as well. Because when I talk about meal order, that was a huge part to understand in terms of controlling the blood glucose levels. When we have fiber before a meal, and that includes vegetables, includes the fiber, the balance here, all right, huge. That is the carb that helps to control our blood glucose levels better than anything. Better than anything, bar none. So it is what lowers, that is the carbohydrate that does lower blood glucose. All right. We add to that the protein and fiber. We put a priority on that. Simple carbohydrates, the breads, the rice, the pastas, we put that to the end of the meal. Did you erase the vegetable and seed oils out of your diet? Yes, absolutely. I was diagnosed when I was 9 with child's rheumatoid arthritis. And so, but no one told us about that issue. Since I've done that and started this protocol, lowered that inflammation, got the seed oils, what we realized was my grandmother had suffered from really bad arthritis for decades. And the doctors told her to take the seed oils out of the diet. I will tell you, I was a little bit hesitant. I love popcorn. And when I would make popcorn, I would use, that was the last bit of the seed oils. It was full of it. I had this imitation butter and it was great. It was like, it was really good on my popcorn. That was the last thing that was really messing me up. And what we found is yesterday, oh my gosh, I had the worst headache that I've had in years. Well, since my migraines went away. I had eaten some chicken. My wife had gotten some fried chicken strips from a local place. You don't know what they've been cooked in, and I guarantee you it was cooked in seed oils and full of MSG. Oh my gosh, it was brutal. I suffered with that headache all day yesterday. It was terrible. But I made sure, and my wife said, you need to go, because she's my coach. She said, you need to get electrolytes and you need to get salt. You need to get sodium. I started doing that, and my migraine started to come back down. I made sure that I was taking my balance. But yeah, absolutely. So what I use to cook in, typically coconut, olive, avocado oil are the big ones that we use. We do a lot of lard and ghee. We do beef tallow, and we will do bacon fat. We do our own bacon. I know that there's a bunch of bull crap about bacon. If you get processed bacons with are full of nitrites and nitrates, that's a problem. Get bacon or make your own. I'm not giving up bacon, right? I'm not giving up bacon. So, but if you do your own and you get ones that don't have additives, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, that's right. Your body is going to tell you that. Your body gets to homeostasis. As a nutrition coach, that is a huge thing. We get our bodies to homeostasis. Not giving up bacon, right? And not a chance. Look, and as a nutrition coach, I'm going to be real. I'm going to go out there, all right? I'm a redneck from down south. I love my fried chicken, my fried catfish, and my mama's banana pudding. I will open a can of whoop ass on somebody. Do I eat it all the time? No, but we make it ourselves, and we eat in the correct order, and I don't eat it all the time. And when I do, I'm also doing everything else around that to be healthy when I eat. So that is the huge part of what we want to do, is to be attentive to that. Yep. Although, yeah, it's learning to eat correctly. And what I tell people is you get to eat what you like. That's ultimately eat what you like. I am not a carnivore. I've got clients that are carnivore. not against carnivore. I'm not against vegan if it's what you like, and if you put that priority. If you're vegan, vegetarian, you still put the priority on getting protein. This actually does not compromise a carnivore diet. Taking this because you're not consuming the plants in the same way. You're not eating them. You're simply drinking them. So this doesn't. This is also halal certified. This is kosher, and it's vegan. So whatever you're concerned about, this is processed. This is purified plant fibers. Right, is what it is. And there's things that we have been eating our whole lives. Uh, yes, that is exactly right, because your body is making the dopamine and the serotonin, which is mostly made in the gut. Um, I suffered from acid reflux for almost 20 years after my cancer, and doctors had me on Nexium for almost that entire time. The scary part about that is they were also medications that increase your chance of diabetes. Um, so, and my gut is still disrupted by that. But I was able to get off Nexium when I started doing it took me a long time. My gut's still not healed. I make sure I take digestive enzymes as well. And yeah, homemade prebiotic, probiotics. We do our own homemade yogurt, Greek yogurt. And we will definitely do, I like to do pickles, anything that is prebiotic, probiotic that we make at home are perfect things that we want to do, right? We want to get that in there. God, I'm having what am I thinking? Cabbage. Oh, I can't even think of what you call it, right? You started milk kefir. All right, great. Here's one thing that I love to do with the fiber. When we do yogurt at home, I will mix the fiber into my yogurt. I love it. It is not only this great treat, but I'm getting the fat, I'm getting the protein, and I'm getting the fiber all in one. It's sauerkraut. That's what I'm thinking. Sauerkraut. Yes. My wife loves it. She's got me doing that. So that's huge. But this makes sure that I get the fiber that I need in there every single day. And here's the thing that really blew me away, because if you go online and you look at, everybody's got opinions, right? This is the only fiber that's in the PDR.net. And this is a fiber that contains all foods. These are plant fibers that we have been eating for thousands of years. If you look into every single one of them, for the guar gum, for the locust bean gum, you can sit there and hear it right there. You're talking about beans, you're talking about fibers that we eat, the polyphenols, this pectin that's in here, the same thing that's in those apples that we have. It uses sugar alcohol, so it has stevia in it. That's what it contains. So it's not going to spike your blood sugar. So it's not artificial, it's natural, but it's that stevia, and it's a pure stevia. So we're not getting the stuff that's like hidden crap in there. Like I said, the extensive research on this that's why it's in the PDR.net. And here's the thing about it: the American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Association are referenced in that, but they don't promote this because they're happy for us to be sick. Their goal is to make sure the people that invest in those organizations get their money back. Well, how are they going to get their money back? They're investing in pharmaceutical companies. You follow the money trail. Follow the money trail every time. If it doesn't make sense, it makes somebody money, right? It makes somebody money along the way. And when you have a big problem, you've got to come up with a big solution. But here's the thing: in all this time, in over 10 years now, right, there's not been an increase in the price of the product, all right, in the Feel Great system. We kept the price down the whole time. Plus, having manufacturer and distributor plants all around the world, right? Look at the healthy food pyramid. Exactly. Exactly. And then here's the crazy part about people are bitching about that. I've got friends of mine that are like, this new food pyramid, there's people that are behind it that are in the meat industry, in the dairy industry. Well, guess who was in the other ones? It was involved in the pharmaceutical companies. It was in the processed food companies. All of those folks were involved in the old food pyramid, right? So are we going to play that game? Come on. Come on, right? How about we look at what's happening to human beings getting healthy? We've been getting sicker and sicker and sicker all this time. More and more of us. And now, look, and here's the thing. I'm a pastor. I'm United Methodist clergy. Been a clergy for 30 years now. All right. John Wesley, 1747, wrote this first book that was called Primitive Physics. And you know what he talked about in there? He was challenging these very issues about eating clean, about eating natural, and getting on the pharmaceutical companies in 1747. Think about that. Think about that. That's like, holy crap. That's now getting to be almost 300 years ago. And if you look in the NIH or PubMed in the United States, here's the thing. His work is referenced in articles at least 20 times. And it's incredible that he challenged this even then. We look and we follow through with that. If you've heard of Louis Pasteur, pasteurization, in the 1800s now, he got into a fight, and you never hear about that, with Béchamp, another biologist. He was all about germ theory. This is where medications come in. Now, he wasn't wrong. But Béchamp said, hey, we need to take care of we need to take care of this, the terrain of the body. We need to be metabolically healthy to fight off the disease. Well, guess who won? Who had the money? That was Pasteur's family. And on his deathbed, Louis Pasteur said, Béchamp was right. The terrain had everything to do with it. But by that point in time, we were ignoring it. And then we follow on into the 20th century, and Rockefeller put all of that money into the reports to knock out the homeopathic and the natural medical schools to go all towards medications and pharmaceuticals and our modern form of teaching. So we have a standard American, and I'm going to say this now, I know some of y'all are not here in the U.S., but we have, if there's an export we've done really well, is a standard American diet. We do a standard American diet during a standard American day. We get standard American diseases. We go to standard American doctors, and we take standard American drugs. And if there's one thing we've exported more than anything else, is that way of living. But you know what we also came up with? This is also originally, and it still is, this is an American-owned company that pharmaceutical companies cannot buy. It is a privately owned company, and it is around the world. Some of the biggest distributors that do this are in India and South Korea. It's growing in Australia. It is growing in the UAE. All right? It is growing around the world and in Europe. And we are fighting in the U.S., here in the States, and getting silenced, and we still keep talking about it. Thankfully, we have a group of people that are learning that this is exactly the simplest, easiest way to live that lifestyle that helps us be healthy. And this is what Dr. G and I coach on. So I'm going to need to jump off, but it's been great having you, 3311. Those of y'all here, if you have not subbed, make sure you do that. Thank y'all so very much. And I really do. I know I hadn't talked a lot about it, but I'm glad so many of y'all have responded up here to walking. If there's one thing you can do for your health today, is pick that meal that works best for you and go take a 5 to 10 minute walk. Your muscles will soak up all of that blood sugar, and that is key. That is going to be key. 3311, you are so very welcome. Everybody that's been here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out the videos that I've got up here. All right. I'm so pumped to be here. I am here every morning here in the States, right? This time is usually the time that I'm on. So, but you can catch me all the time. I'm regularly posting. And next week, I'm really excited on Wednesday evening here in the States, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. PM, we've got Dr. G and Carolyn Bird, who's a registered nurse, and we're going to be doing a series on talking with medical professionals that'll be alive, and it'll be here. So thank y'all so much for being here. Go get the day, go make it golden, go be excellent to one another, and go be excellent to you. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll see you back around on the flip side.